The screen looks weird. It's almost as windy today as it was when I flew the Ricky. Well, this week's video is kind of a play off of last week's video, sort of. But it's really a play from a video that we did several months ago. If you guys haven't noticed yet, we kind of like to revisit old videos. I drove by our spot up here by the pond earlier and there was somebody there fishing. I'm really hoping that they're gone by now because that was like an hour ago. Oh, they're still here. I guess I could park like this. Their truck's right there. They're fishing over there in the no fishing area. If I park like this, I can fly this way. We'll do that. So what's today's video about? Hold that thought. It looks like they're getting ready to leave because they know they're not supposed to fish here. Today is going to be another Mini 2 versus Mini 4 challenge. I know you guys have been looking forward to one of those because we haven't had one in a few weeks. Several weeks ago, if not months ago, I released a video where I was showing that one of the return to home features had been totally deleted for the DJI Mini 4. The Mini 2 can do it, but the Mini 4 can't. And what I'm talking about is on the way home, when you're flying the DJI Mini 2, you have control of the yaw and you have control of the height. You can go up and down as it's returning home. A bunch of people on YouTube were calling that the autopilot or the second pilot option, but DJI's taken it away for the DJI Mini 4. And I learned that they've also taken it away for the DJI Mini 3. I don't have the Mini 3, so I didn't know that they had taken it away beforehand, but I was pretty disappointed when I realized that I couldn't do it with the 4. So we got several comments on that video that we released, and they were trying to explain to me why it does that, and it's kind of brought something to my attention that we might still be able to do this. One of the first comments that we got on that video was from Jason with JJ Drones. He says, it's all about the AR return to home and the drone needs to follow that path. If you were going to change it with the yaw or the altitude, it would alter the predetermined path Dwight already calculated. Makes a lot of sense. We got another comment from Dirty Bird. Says the reason for the different behavior has to do with obstacle avoidance. Drones without obstacle avoidance are free to yaw about during their return to home. Drones with obstacle avoidance cannot. We got another comment from Gary that says, how about the Mini 4 Pro with the AI off? I know it's surprising, but people are still watching that video. And just a couple of days ago, we got a comment from Skip. He says, okay, I'm wondering what would happen if you turn off the AR effects. I'm going to do a couple of things today. First of all, we're going to fly the Mini 2. We're going to demonstrate what I'm talking about because a lot of you guys haven't seen that video and you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to do it with the Mini 4, and I've got a couple of things that I want to try. The first thing I want to try is I want to try to turn off the augmented reality settings. I just want to turn those off. Unfortunately, the green line goes with that, so that kind of stinks. Secondly, I want to try to turn the obstacle avoidance sensors off. However, we learned last week on the video that I did that you can't turn the obstacle avoidance sensors off during their return to home flight. If you have the obstacle avoidance sensors turned off on the Mini 4 and you fly out and you hit return to home, the drone will automatically turn those sensors back on, so it has the obstacle avoidance on the return to home flight. So that kind of puts that option out of question. However, I just thought of this. If you put it in sport mode, the obstacle avoidance sensors I don't believe come on during the return to home flight, so we'll try that. Now, if all else fails, I did bring some tape, and we could probably tape up Dwight's sensors again like we did last week. All I did was I put tape on the bottom sensors. Well, that disabled every sensor that he had, and even on the return to home flight, it never came back on. And Christy's texting me. Christy says hi. Well, I've decided to fly with Jack today. He was our first DJI Mini 2 drone. We've still got him on the 1.4.8 fly-out version, and we've also got him on an older firmware version as well. And then we're going to pull Dwight out, and we're going to fly with him and see how we can mess him up. Let me get Jack. Got Jack. He's come to like his little backpack. Okay, so right now we've only got 5 satellites with Jack. I'm going to go to the 3 dots and show you what we're using. We're using Jack the drone. His firmware version is 1.03.0000, and his fly-out version is 1.4.8. Anyway, I'm going to put Jack out on the back of the truck so we can get a satellite so we can get this test started. Ugh. Oh, home point's been updated. That was Martha, guys.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
So we've got the home point's been updated. We've only got 10 satellites and a moderate GPS signal, so I'm going to wait another couple of seconds. Been flying Rose so much lately that this screen is a lot different than what we're used to seeing. All right, guys, I think we've got enough now. We've got 17 satellites. Let me get Jack started here. Get him up in the air. See how he hovers in this wind, because it is windy today. Thanks, Martha. All right, so he's moving a little bit, but again, I think it could be because of the updraft from the truck. I can't really go too far up because then he'll be out of the view of the camera. So let me do his back and forth thing and his side to side. Make sure he's responded to my controls. Yep, all right, so now he is there. So let me get him up in the air. I'm gonna pull the gimbal down a little bit. And I'm just going to fly out a couple hundred feet and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So we are out 479 feet. I'm going to hit return to home and show you guys what I'm talking about. So he's going to raise up to his 160 foot level that I've got him preset at. And then I'm going to show you what he can do. So even there's a few, he's coming home already, but while he's coming home, I want to show you this. I can yaw to the right, I can yaw to the left, and he's still coming home. I can raise up, and I can even descend. So all of these options that he's got is pretty, oh, control stick push down. Maybe you can't go down. Did something change there? Let me fly back out and see what that was, because that was different than, that was a little bit different than what I normally see. All right, let's hit return to home. While he's flying home, I'm going to show you what I can do. So he's moving closer to the home point, so I can yaw to the right and to the left, so that's good. Look at the height. I'm going up, and I can come down. Oh, I know what it was. I must have hit the speed. I must have hit the right stick down, which will shut it off. Let me show you that. So if you hit the right stick down, that changes the speed and that screws you up. All right, so let's get Jack landed. I want to pull out Dwight, and we're going to see what we can do with him. Hi, Jack. I know it was a short flight, but at least it was something, right? Let's get you landed, buddy. How do y'all think you did? I got Dwight. I'm going to put Dwight on the back of the truck. He's going to get his satellites, and we can go through some of this stuff on the screen. So I need to go through this screen here. I'm going to go to the About tab and show you that we're using Dwight. His app version is the 1.12.8, and his firmware version is 1.00.0300. I'm still waiting on a fly app update to come out. I've been itching for one of those.
Home point updated.
Hey, home point's been updated. Thanks, Martha. So his gimbal, for some reason, is moving. That is strange. Let me do a gimbal calibration while we sit here. We've got 24 satellites right now. That's pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get Dwight started. I'm going to fly him out of 500 feet or so. And then we're going to see if he's able to do what Jack could do. We get up 22 feet. We'll get his home point set, and we'll get him straight out there and get this test going. All right, here we go. We're off. So we've made it out to 630 feet. I've got the AR settings on. I think that's under safety, right? So right now I've got the AR settings on. I've got the advanced return to home is set to optimal. AR settings are all on. So I want to show you guys what you can't do with this thing set in optimal and with the AR settings on. So let me hit return to home, and I'm going to be hitting these buttons. Got to hit the return to home a little bit longer than that. All right, so he's not raising up, but he's coming to us. So I'm going to hit the sticks to the right and to the left, and nothing's happening. You see, with Jack, I was able to control all of this. So I have no control whatsoever. So let's get him stopped. We'll get him heading back out there to the pond. We're going to turn a couple of settings off, and we're going to see if that makes any difference at all. All right, so we're out far enough. We're out about 850 feet, give or take. I want to face him right towards us. We're up 89 feet. I'm going to turn the optimal stuff. I'm going to turn all that stuff off. So we are under the AR settings. Actually, let me set it to preset, so it's not in optimal anymore, and I'll do the same thing. So let's hit return to home. And now he's raising all the way up to his preset height, which I think I have it set at 160 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And then whenever he starts his trek home, I'm going to do the sticks again and show you. All right, so he's heading home. I'm hitting the sticks left and to the right, and nothing's happening. I'm going up and down, and nothing's happening. So they took that away from us. I'm going to cancel the return to home flight. We'll get turned back around and go back out there. And we're going to try this again. I think that's close enough right there. I'm going to go to, where do I go to? The sensors. Nope, I don't hit that. I hit the button here. And under safety, all the way down at the bottom, is that where it was? Advanced safety settings. Obstacle sensing off. I had a problem turning this off the other day. All right, I think we're off. Are we? Probably not. No. Come on. Why does it do that? I don't think it wants you to turn these things off. All right, there we go. I got it turned off. I'm just going to hit OK. And I'm going to go back to the screen here. And as soon as I hit return to home, I know it's going to turn those sensors back on, so it's going to really be a non-issue. So let's hit return to home. Yep, the sensors came back on. Whoops. I hit another button. And now that he's on his way home here, I'm going to turn to the left and to the right, and nothing's happening. It's all the same. So we have lost this ability to do this with this drone. I'm going to cancel the return to home flight. We'll go back out there once again. Now we've got the sensors still off. The sensors turned off as soon as I went, or as soon as I canceled the return to home flight, the sensors went back off. So let's do this. I'm going to go back to those sensors. I'm going to turn them back on. There we go. Now I'm going to flip over to sport mode, and you'll see in the upper corner there where the obstacle avoidance sensors are, it says that forward, backward unavailable, left, right unavailable, up, down unavailable. So let me turn him back towards us again. I'm going to hit return to home one more time, and we're going to see what he can do now. I wonder if his sensors will come back on in sport mode. Yep, his sensors are back on in sport mode. So again, this is gonna it's gonna have the same result here. So I'm gonna turn to the right and to the left. I have no control. Up and down, no control. All right, we're gonna let him land, and then I'm gonna use this. But it's our last option. It's our last resort. Dwight, you're not gonna be happy about this, but I've got to tape your sensors up. Sorry. I know I told you last week I'd never do it again, but this is science, right? Sorry, man. He's eyeballing the tape. All right, I want to take a piece of this tape and I want to cover up his sensors. I did promise him last week that I'd never do this again, but I broke my promise. Sorry, buddy. Okay, so I've got his sensors totally covered up now, at least the bottom sensors, which disabled all of the sensors last week. So let me put him out on the back here and see what he does. Okay. Are you guys as nervous as I am? I hope he comes back home. All right, let me get him up and going here. Get him straight up about 22 feet and see what he can do with his home point. All right, so ambient light too low. Not good. So he's sitting right there. See, I'm kind of at a loss for words here. It says that the sensors are disabled. So let's fly out there to where we're going, and we'll get him all squared away over this water. So now he's heading towards the home point. Let me hit return to home, and we'll see what we can do here. I always have a tendency of holding that button down, just not quite long enough. All right, so he's raising up to his preset position. I'm going to go to the left and to the right, and I still have no control. Well, that made no difference. Shoot, I was hoping that we were going to have different results there. I guess we'll just have him come home and see if he lands on his home spot, see how good his precision landing is with the tape like we tried last week, see if it's any better. Then we'll have a little chat. All right, guys, there he is. It looks like he's positioned pretty well right by the home point. I think he might be okay, but the thing is, I got to cancel this, otherwise he'll crash. He's going to crash into the truck like he did last week. So I'm going to turn it off. And now he's hovering right there. Look how steady he is, even with his sensors off. Whoops. I hit the return to home button again. All right, let me get him landed. Whoa, he bounced again. That was rough. So those guys that are fishing are about done, so I'm gonna wrap this up. So we've proven that no matter what we do, we don't have control of the DJI Mini 4 on the return to home flight at all. It's totally up to the drone itself. So the only way to get any type of control is to cancel the return to home flight. All right, guys, well, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. God bless.